in Koreatown.
Yeah, the circumstances surrounding precisely what happened, we don't know at this point. We were watching a skirmish line there in the Koreatown area. It looked like roughly 40, 50 protesters had moved off from downtown Los Angeles into Koreatown. LAPD officers had them surrounded with skirmish lines and issued a dispersal order. And at that point, a couple of people were taken into custody. The vast majority of them moved on. And then at some point, this driver made a move toward that skirmish line. Again, the circumstance is unclear, but assault with a deadly weapon. And
assault with a deadly weapon.
Vehicle, that's the want here by
this
LAPD
is someone who assaulted a police officer at a skirmish line, I assume during the protests in Koreatown.
Yeah, that's right, Micah. You're looking at the exit here. It's exiting at Manchester or Florence. He's got heavy traffic coming up here.
We're in some restricted airspace right now.
Turn possibly here, right through the traffic.
High rates of speed on the freeway. That's why we're so far behind it. No lights on this Dodge Charger.
There is an ability for the driver to get back on the freeway here, but he's bordering the west side of the 110 freeway. More heavy traffic ahead. And
crossing the 110. Some airspace, restricted airspace issues going on here. Might have a potential pit maneuver.
I can tell you that the
might want to get back on the freeway, otherwise we're going to get pit here. Another stop sign.
And I can tell you that skirmish line.
Oh, by the way, boogity! Let's go chasing here. 11 p.m. on the dot, Pacific time. 11 o'clock news hour with Gil Levis in Sky 5.
That's when the car came through.
Back on the 110 freeway.
We don't know. We haven't heard of any word of any officers being injured because of that. But because he broke through that skirmish line, that's why they're after him. And that's why.
So this car broke through a skirmish line, either surrounding the curfew that's currently on Los Angeles right now, or a skirmish line outside of the curfew zone, where there was obviously officers, and now they're chasing the vehicles. It broke through containment. So I don't know if this person was trying to run over the cops, trying to run over protesters, whatever. We're in a chase.
Protesters and an LAPD skirmish line in Koreatown. And from what we understand, this driver made a move either toward the skirmish line or in some way threatened officers with that vehicle. And the assault with a deadly weapon is in play here as LAPD continues.
Assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer. That's
now, Gil, we have the LAPD in pursuit.
You use your vehicle. It is considered an ADW.
As this car starts to
it's Cougs, Duder Baker, BJ Beasley in the chat.
100 miles per hour.
Appreciate you guys resubscribing to the channel.
The CHP is going to take
Alcoholics
over
Anonymous.
Aquaholics,
excuse me.
Right now.
11 p.m. chase. We are in primetime chase hours. Lights off on this Dodge Charger. Night sun above. Potential ADW on a police officer with the vehicle. Breaking through a skirmish line in Koreatown. 110 freeway.
He's going to go west on the 105.
Look at all these interchanges right here. Bad news for us. 110 westbound. He's going to now parallel the restricted airspace of LAX. He's going to run side by side all the way to the ocean. This is the worst freeway possible for us on a police chase.
Slim, as you're aware, as you move westbound on the 105, west of the 110, you're in the LAX area, into the El Segundo area, and the freeway will end. So this will ultimately end up on surface streets.
If he gets off, you know the streets by now, people. You've watched enough chases if you're watching at this hour. Imperial Highway, Centinela, Airport Boulevard.
South of LAX.
If he takes this all the way to the end, there is that tunnel at LAX too. But these officers are engaged. No tracking mode on this one, as we're doing 100 miles an hour, outrunning that train at the bottom of your screen. There's a Dodge Charger, a white Dodge Charger.
But as you see this thing moving towards surface streets,
headed towards Hawthorne, where we do have separate jurisdictions as well.
And they want this person badly. Again, assault with a deadly weapon.
P. Mitchell in the chat says, I'm in Koreatown and choppers are going crazy.
The incident in the Koreatown area, we do not know. But it did involve.
Man, I'm telling y'all, if you are a potential rider, do not be going to Koreatown in LA. Don't be doing that shit in LA. The chat will tell you why. It goes all the way back to the riots in the 90s.
Ultimately dispersed.
And it seems that when
Look
we're
at the
talking about
speed
that
as we
incident that
fly.
happened,
Oh my
we
God,
tried
that
to,
spearhead was
actually
right
focus
there.
Our lenses at that moment.
We're so zoomed
Gil,
in, everything
on
looks so tight.
Another arrest that was happening. Some protesters pointing a laser at the helicopters above was arrested, and then it seems that there was this altercation that happened between the suspect in this car, or suspects that are in this car, and the LAPD.
Why does the title
And
say
that's what
replay? Who
prompted
changed
assault
that?
with a deadly
I didn't
weapon,
change
and,
that.
it looks like we've got
Who
at
changed
least
my
two,
title?
LAPD officers behind him in black and whites. This car has been driving.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Very high speeds. At one point, seeing the car going.
How did he
at
get
least
through that?
23 miles per hour on the off ramp.
You could hear Gil mumbling.
Freeway. This is just really tough to watch because you just know all these motorists there are at least getting some kind of an alert from the airships above with that night sun that there's something happening on the freeway. But nonetheless, with the blacked
Okay,
out
I changed the title.
and the speed.
Ranger must have changed that for some reason.
And over, it is frightening at how this suspect is driving and trying his best to get away.
Yeah, this driver is moving.
Mike and Sheriff, you can hear me. Switching hilltops right now, dealing with a few things up in the chopper here. The vehicle continued at high rate.
Imperial Highway coming up.
Freeway, and the night sunlight. I'm losing him here. We're having to stay south. I've lost
LAX
him,
right there. We're
the
already.
freeway. He may have exited, but
Gil, pay attention.
yeah, the following the night sunlight of the. It sounds like he's still on the main line. They lost him as well, I believe.
Oh no.
Wow, that's incredible.
No way.
Okay, he went southbound 405 freeway.
Should be right
There we
underneath
go.
you.
We got him now.
There you go.
Yeah, all those
And-
red and blues will give it away, I think.
A whole lot more.
We're going to
police
reacquire him.
behind
There he
now.
goes,
There he is.
right
He's
there.
on the transition road. Okay, so it stays on the freeway. Again, CHP, well aware of this, law enforcement tracking from the air as well. Gil, what's that marine layer doing? Is it becoming a challenge?
Gil's busy.
Yeah, Mike and Sherry, you can tell by our picture, it's kind of hazy. We go between us and him, and we have the
Southbound
in
405
the way,
going
but it
through
is,
now
so
Hawthorne.
far, my
At least we're
pilot,
going
he's
south of
doing a great
LAX.
job,
That really helped us
following
out a
this
lot.
pursuit. We do have it well.
Also, the closer you get to the
low,
water,
but
the
we're able to keep up
more
with it. That might
marine
change
layer
here
we got to
because
deal
we're
with.
going south on the 405 towards
We're in June
Torrance,
gloom
and,
right now
we might
here
have issues
in
with
LA,
the
especially on the
so
west
far we're
side.
good.
June gloom
That's why
takes
the picture's
all
so
day
kinda
to
hazy
burn
looking,
through.
but,
Oh, you don't have your lights on, man.
desperate to get away here.
I can't see you.
We saw him on the 105 freeway, split vehicles right between the lanes. I thought maybe he would have hit one of them, but he didn't hit any of those cars. It didn't look like.
Those
now we're
clouds are the
continuing.
marine layer.
Look at the speeds here, almost 100 miles an hour. The LAPD is still behind it. And,
Oh, going
we'll see
so
what the,
fast,
CHP
90,
decides to do.
99
They
miles an
get
hour.
involved and take it
So
over.
we are just
Might be
zooming
exiting the
past all
freeway.
these cars.
He's gonna
Getting
go
off the
into
freeway, but we're doing
hard
90
here.
on the
Gonna come
off
for a
ramp.
wide shot. And he's got traffic. Oh,
Hard on the brakes, really hard on the brakes.
And here he's going to be exiting.
Still doing 60 on the off ramp.
Yeah, so we got.
Oh God, traffic ahead, big intersection ahead as well.
Inglewood Avenue, I should
They're gonna
say.
try
He's
and
gonna
pit him
make
if they
the U-turn. He's
can.
done this a couple times.
Yeah.
He's going to go back on the freeway.
Back
again,
northbound,
so
405.
he just looped
Gonna take us
around
back to the
southbound
105.
on, 405. He's thinking that move is going to fool the officers or even the airship, but that's not happening. Southbound 405, and he's going to continue here southbound. So at this point,
There are
trying to
officers
see
ahead
if
of
the
him here.
CHP is talking about it.
Yeah,
so
they're
far.
right ahead of him. There they are, right
Yeah,
ahead of him.
they were.
Look at this.
Yeah, they may have
Look
missed the
at this.
Yeah, that's CHP. So he's gonna
Yeah.
he's gonna slow down. They might take it over. Oh, look at this. He
Huh?
turned around.
Oh,
He
wow.
tried
Ah!
to turn there. No, it didn't happen.
What
The
the?
wall.
So
Did it just crash? What the hell, Gil?
There, but he did. He may have hit the wall.
What?
And he's got his lights on now. I guess he needed.
What the hell just happened? CHP is taking over. Was there a blockade?
Be right there. So we'll see if they take it over. So far, I haven't heard that.
Did he
they're
try
gonna
and
do
go
that.
down the on-ramp?
Second thought, they do have it now.
CHP with the mini
now
night
the
sun
CHP
out the passenger side there. Lights on the vehicle, night sun overhead. No tracking mode here.
And they
We've
just
been
took it over,
on-
I'm hearing.
There was the handoff, and you saw the CHP.
CHP is now
units out
engaged. They are
ahead
not
of
the ones to let go. We've
suspects
seen,
on
what,
405
4 straight
southbound
chases
as
get
he was
away?
Making the transition.
Was there a pit maneuver there?
And once he realized that there were officers
What happened?
essentially in front of him and
Yeah.
behind him, that's when he tried to bail off the freeway.
Abs crew,
and
Paper
things
Sean,
went
what's up?
south
Welcome
for him
back.
For a moment there, it looked as though he may have actually hit that wall, but obviously not enough damage to do anything to the vehicle. The headlights function, the car's moving and moving at a high rate of speed.
That's
very
right, chat.
dangerous,
That is a Dodge
down,
Charger.
As we move southbound, continuing southbound on the 405. And again, CHP now.
Wait,
the lead
he got back on
agency. This
southbound?
started again
That
in
doesn't make sense.
Koreatown, assault with a deadly weapon involving an LAPD skirmish line. And from what we understand, we have few details, but
115
some
miles an
this
hour
vehicle
on the
was
405
involved
southbound
in
coming out of
some
Torrance.
fashion with the skirmish line, which explains the assault with a deadly weapon want on the suspect.
Yes, ADW is the want here. 4 stars using a vehicle to ram through a skirmish of police officers in Koreatown.
We haven't heard that yet. It's possible that they have a passenger or two in there. They were coming through that area where the skirmish line was and the protesters were in Koreatown. It's hard to say. There's a lot of chatter going on between the CHP and the LAPD still at this point, but look at the speeds here. He's getting into some heavier traffic. We're through the South Bay curve and continuing southbound. We're at the Lamo, and at least one CHP unit. He's going to be exiting here.
Oh, God.
Exiting the
90,
freeway at Western.
90 on the off-ramp, onto the...
shoulder.
Yeah, the shoulder, the dirt or something. Every time you get off the freeway, you are opening yourself up to a big-time pit maneuver. You're lucky you make a right-hand turn. You better hit that gas and go, because this is the perfect road. No cars on the side, no pedestrians, no parked cars. This has pit maneuver written all over it, where those CHP cruisers are more than likely certified.
Bouncing around a little bit on that exit, on that turn there, and still continuing to go at high speeds now on surface streets.
Lucky
at
that was a
80
green
miles per
light. He's not
hour.
stopping for red lights.
You know, we've been on this for about 15 minutes, and just to imagine that he went from Koreatown to Torrance in that time is, really gives a picture of how fast he's been going on the freeways. At times, 123 is what I saw clocked. Which I just thought was astonishing.
Red light ahead,
And
red light
now
ahead.
He's trying to make his
Okay,
way
at least we made a
around
right-hand turn there.
Torrance, on these surface streets, and this is the first time that I've seen him even below 50 miles per hour. It has been a really intense, high-speed.
No,
chase.
Breezy Boy, I'm sorry. That's actually a
The
Dodge
LAPD
Charger. It's a
first,
great
they
Dodge
handed off
Charger.
To CHP, so now CHP is
4-star
in
chase here for the
pursuit of
want
this
and the severity.
suspect that's wanted for assault with a deadly weapon on
Yep.
a police officer.
4 stars also. Reckless driving.
Yes, here we go into the intersection. He missed the on-ramp there to the northbound 405.
Huh?
He's going to continue northbound.
Oh, solid red light.
Crenshaw
Almost had a
Boulevard.
T-bone.
And he's got some open
Crenshaw
lanes
Boulevard.
here.
Look how wide open we are.
Wider
3
shuttle
lanes
to the
plus
next
the
intersection.
medians.
Not a whole lot of traffic
Plus
right
the
now
turning
in
lanes.
this area, but
Going too
the
fast at
aircraft
90 miles an
behind
hour
it,
for a
not
for a
the
pit
wide shot,
maneuver
you'll
though.
get an idea of how many units are in trail, but we're approaching the intersection here on a green light. He's going to go through that and continue northbound on Crenshaw. So this driver doing what he can to try to get away, but the airship overhead and the units behind it, it's going to be tough for that driver to get away.
And law enforcement wants this suspect in a bad way, involving this vehicle and a skirmish line as they're trying
Still
to,
doing 90.
issue
I know it doesn't look that
some
fast on the
order for
broadcast, but there's a
protesters
reason why. Oh my God,
car
intersection.
somehow
Oh, green light.
involved with the skirmish
If he stays on a
line.
straight line, they could
If it
potentially
drove
set up
through
some
it,
spike
we
strips
don't
ahead.
know. If he ended up ultimately bumping an officer, we don't know. No word on any injuries to any
What's up, Mo
officers.
Daddy? Appreciate you
But assault with a
subscribing to
deadly
the
weapon
channel.
is the want. So this vehicle involved directly engaging with a skirmish line of LAPD officers on Surface Street in Koreatown. Obviously a very dangerous
Oh, God.
situation.
Wide
Law
right turn.
enforcement wants this
McDonald's.
suspect in custody, and they're doing everything they can to make that happen. And you see an increasingly desperate driver here
Whoa!
trying to get away. And
Ejectocito?
there that
Oh, backing up. Oh, mini pit maneuver.
Almost
What are you doing?
almost.
Boy, he back.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, look at how bright that night sun is.
Couldn't make the turn. Then he backed up towards those CHP officers.
Oh.
We'll see what they decide to do with that, because that could be considered an assault with a deadly weapon on those officers. They're putting the car in reverse and going towards those officers. But here we go.
Yeah, you
back
might get
on
another
Crenshaw
ADW
northbound.
for that one.
And speeds. Let's try to get a close up and
50,
see if we see anybody inside.
55,
I'm afraid
60.
That the windows are tinted all the way around, including the front. Here's a
Oh
closer
man, this
look,
person
and you
is
guys can
not
see the
giving
kind
up.
of movement in there.
Just recklessly driving around with no sense of purpose. That Dodge Charger, man, has already been wrecked once. We're up to 70, 80 miles an hour here on Crenshaw Boulevard.
Clear the desperation here at this point. This driver. Doing
2
everything
ADWs for
right.
driving into cops. Look how fast we're barreling through these intersections. 90 miles an hour. Hard on the brakes
No, he
here.
was up on the curb, up on the median.
Oh, up on the median.
Right
Oh,
through.
tight squeeze.
Yes, he did. He's going to continue northbound on Crenshaw here, but boy, wow.
This
what a
is so dangerous.
situation with the speeds here. He slowed it down, going into that intersection a little bit, but now he's back on the gas.
Oh, speed going up, speed
This,
going
car
up.
is actually pretty impressive. Going at the speeds, it's been, at 100 miles an hour and so forth. And, you just think how much.
Oh,
rubber
so
has
lucky
it
that's a
burned,
green
I
light.
mean, how much more can it take? How much longer can it go? With the CHP that's behind him, they can always, switch out and get a fresh pair of eyes on the pursuit. That's always an option. But this guy, he's running, and eventually you're going to run out of gas, of might, of courage,
Oh, God.
whatever it might be. But
Huh?
at this point, he's just making his way through these intersections, blowing through all these red lights and putting the public in danger.
I don't know if you noticed right back there at that last intersection, there was someone that looked like they dove onto the sidewalk. I think that person was crossing the street before the intersection.
Someone in the chat said,
and,
"I can
it
feel
looked like
Downey's
he dove
aura."
out onto the sidewalk to get
Stop
out of the
it.
way. But here we are approaching the 105 freeway here in just a short distance.
Might get
He's
back
gonna
on the
go
freeway.
Right by those cars. He's
Oh,
gonna
God,
swing a
red light.
right-hand turn,
Ah.
and he's going to go eastbound on 120th Street. And we'll see.
That is not
what
towards the
next
freeway.
decision
Oh,
will be.
hard on the
driver
brakes.
Right down the middle of the street, CHP directly behind him. And we'll see, you see the night sunlight there continuing to track the vehicle. So
Bill
we'll see
Brasky
the driver
says,
tries to
"Boogity
get to the
boogity,
105.
let's go,
They
Jason."
might try a
Still
pivot over
going
here.
here, almost
Speeds
20
are a
minutes
little
in
high,
somehow.
but no
Extremely
traffic,
dangerous.
very little traffic, I should say,
ADW, four-star
on,
chase coming out of
120th
Koreatown.
here.
Gray
So
Dodge
see
Charger engaged
possibly
with
as he slows
CHP.
down into
Any
that
of these turns are going to be
intersection,
pit
might
maneuver
try to
time,
pit.
people.
No,
Any of these turns,
he's not
if
gonna
it's a
do it. He's
wide
gonna
turn,
let
you
it
are opening.
go
Oh,
over.
this is even worse for him.
Let him go there. He's going to be.
He better turn into Kyle Larson here on these side streets,
and he's gonna
because
go
they are
over
going to
the
be
top of
looking
the
to pit.
105 Freeway. Unfortunately, we cannot go much further north with the vehicle, so we're going to have to stay here due to LAX.
Oh my
air
God,
traffic,
this
but
fucking
we'll
airspace.
Do our best to keep up with the vehicle. He's northbound on Van Ness, and the CHP is going to stay in it. At this point, speeds are about 70 miles an hour, and fortunately, traffic's light.
And adjacent to a residential area, it gets sticky.
Look how
quickly.
fast, that's 70 miles an hour through a solid red.
Again, as the
Oh, how is there not a
pretty
T-bone?
desperate here, all the way from Koreatown down into the South Bay, and the surface street activity is.
Oh
just
my God,
frightening.
70 on these side streets. Anyone on the dead's gonna, anyone on the street's gonna get splattered.
Already, and our shots
Unfortunately, I'm
Line up with the Van Ness.
as we.
I'm on a window
as our
capture, not a display
restricted
capture. Is
on
the
our
reason for
airspace,
the
CHP
sluggish
now is,
stream here. I couldn't get the
in
display
command of this
capture to work.
pursuit. LAPD
Had to go live
initiated,
as soon as
again, this was
possible,
that
so you're just gonna have to
LAPD
deal with a
skirmish
little
line in Koreatown.
glitchy of a chase.
Assault with a deadly
Gil's dealing
weapon
with some
that
restricted
being
airspace
this
issues here with
vehicle,
LAX
and
as well.
Authorities are as desperate to get this suspect as
he's gonna
this
go
suspect
west
is to get
now,
away. And
westbound west.
into this neighborhood here, we apologize again for the distance. We're restricted airspace here, but we're doing the best we can to track it through this neighborhood and right back out into a major.
Almost a
These are the times that
T-bone.
we, suggest that, to check your doors and to check your windows and make sure that you've locked them, because a lot of times with these suspects, when they go into the neighborhoods and residential areas, what they try to do is foot bail and hide in your house. So, do yourself a favor and make a quick check, because if you hear those airships above you, this pursuit is in your neighborhood in Inglewood right now. It's, hanging out in the Torrance, Inglewood area, South Bay almost area. And it's been just
Northbound turn.
incredible
No, go
to watch
southbound.
how fast this
Damn it.
car has been going.
Construction.
It's a Honda
Oh, God.
Civic, actually.
Cones all over the
But
street here on
blacked out
Crenshaw
windows in
and
the front, in the
108th.
back. Can't see inside. Can't see if there's more than one person, more than the driver in this car. But whatever they're doing, whatever it is, they are trying to get away.
Can't pit in a
and,
construction zone.
That's just not going to happen tonight.
We're now northbound on Crenshaw here. And
Yeah, we're in Inglewood now. We're in one of the worst places for restricted airspace as we're hitting that dip at like 60.
We are unfortunately limited here. CHP still in pursuit, light traffic, and speeds are about 65, 70 miles an hour.
Do not make a right-hand
Turn
turn.
here now, he's going to continue
Do not
on.
make a right.
But the CHP in their pattern there, in case he turns either direction, they have those units available.
We're gonna
there to
lose
turn,
him.
Left or right.
We're on the wrong side of the
So
airspace. We're
he's
south
not
of
gonna
the
fold
LAX
there,
restricted
and the airship
airspace right now.
certainly is able to get through there. That
Anytime
nice
they go
line
through
working
Compton,
the pursuit.
Inglewood,
But look at the empty
105, we're in
streets here.
trouble.
We got something just rolled off the vehicle. I don't know if that's
A tire?
Wow.
might have been a tire.
A tire
The
just-
vehicle just lost.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it just rolled across the other side of the street, and yeah. So here we go. He's going to be going. Manchester is coming up. He might be hanging a right turn here on Manchester,
We're essentially dead if he hangs a right.
but now he may have a tire missing on the vehicle.
I guess
That's
right's
gonna
better
make
than
things,
north.
He's going to curve.
More opportune for CHP officers to bring this thing to an end. Again, because of
left-hand turn's
restricted
good for
airspace,
us.
We're limited with our chopper. We do the best we can with our.
Hopefully a
lens
U-turn.
here,
We need a
follow this.
U-turn.
Looks like you made that left turn. But you can bet LAPD is in the area, and they are obviously prepared to assist and ultimately take this suspect into custody. It was the LAPD that initiated this pursuit. I think they turned to the left, and you're going to have to find them out that way if you're going to find them at all. But yeah, it's just gone too far, and so we're limited
Yeah.
to.
Does
what
anyone
you
else
see
have,
here, which isn't much,
are there any
and
other
you can
helicopters
hope,
north
well,
of
that
the
it comes to an end,
airspace?
but that it becomes something we can see. Looks like they're
they're
right
back out?
on the major now, going northbound, but in and out of this neighborhood. So the weekend
all came-
continues.
Slide right a little bit, Mike.
They all came flying out that street.
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah,
the
it sounds like
suspect
he
car.
foot bailed. You see the officers running there in the street.
Yeah.
Ejectocito. They're the officers in
Yeah,
the street.
he bailed. He made a left-hand turn on 83rd, I think they said it was, and 183rd, and then foot bailed right behind these businesses, took off running. So now the officers are chasing him on foot at this point.
Well, there you go. It looked like he lost a tire.
Restricted
it was about a
airspace
block and a half
strikes
away from
again.
this,
We
scene
missed the
right
tire
here.
falling off, and we missed the
that's not a
ejectocito.
surprise with the way that he was driving for an extended period of time, going, over 100 miles per hour, and then on surface streets driving erratically as well. And
I don't think
here,
anyone was
making a
north of the
foot bail,
airspace.
And officers now
Why would you
trying
be?
to apprehend him. Of course, they will build a perimeter around
That's
this
just,
area to make sure that they can close in
That's
on
that's
him
probably a
as soon as
CHP
possible.
helicopter
And
that
that looks to be an LAPD airship.
Yeah,
there
LAPD
directly
airship gets
overhead
the-
as well. So they've
gets
got
the rights there.
resources. This person will most likely be found here in a situation like this with a neighborhood and the amount of resources involved here, not just with CHP, but the number of LAPD officers that were initially involved and that stayed adjacent to the scenario as the CHP chased this suspect down the freeway. It ended up once again on surface streets where it started, but CHP, it looks like, was behind this suspect as he foot bailed just moments after the tire came off. Why that happened, we can't say. If there was a spike strip or if something else happened where he hit something, the thing fell apart, who knows?
Ben G.
He was
Vortex
driving erratically
says,
for some
best
time, so
subscription
not
I
surprised,
have.
to see
Happy
the
anniversary.
car,
24 months and
begin
counting
to
on a
show
tier 1.
compromise.
Ben, you are
And,
appreciated, my friend.
ultimately,
Thank you for
when you're driving like that,
subscribing
it's-
for
it's-
2
no matter
years
how
and
it happens,
counting
you
now.
want it to come to an end because you know, the amount of people that are
I wish
in
I had a
danger,
better
especially on
ending
surface
for
streets,
you
and the potential for that
that we could actually
cross-traffic
see. I bet the
collision at
Ejectocito
high
was pretty
speeds,
epic, especially if it's at a
is
gas
just
station.
frightening as all get out, and you just want to see it stop.
Mr.
The wheel came off, so the driver decided.
M.
to
Romo
jump out.
says it has now been 5
And,
chases
that
since we
driver
haven't
wanted for
seen the
assault with a
wasted
deadly
or
weapon
busted
on another
logo
King
from WAP.
officer out of
Yep.
that,
4
Koreatown
getaways,
protests,
and now one
related
where
to
we can't
anti-ICE
see.
protests that moved from downtown to Koreatown. And of course, we'll bring you an update as soon as
Broccoli
we get
Rob
one.
says I'm wearing my
All right,
fur
we're going to
missile
move on
shirt.
with other news tonight. A curfew is in effect across a 1
All
square
right.
mile area of downtown Los Angeles.
I'm going to assume that will be code 4 at some point. If he ejectocitoed, it's going to be with the amount of CHP that was in pursuit. I can't say code 4 because it's not officially code 4 and we don't like to do premature code 4s. But unfortunately, that's all I got for you tonight, people. If they, for some reason, decide to come back and the chase starts up again, you'll be the first to know. Follow this channel if you haven't already. Turn on your notifications. Also up here, at Skywob Alerts on Twitter is going to be your failsafe. If there's ever a chase within 4 hours of the previous one, it's the only way you'll be notified. Until next time, my friends, it's good to have you back. At least this one didn't technically get away. It's kind of a no contest, an incomplete on the report card, right? This is why we stay up. You cannot go to sleep until the 11 o'clock news on the West Coast is done. So no, if you're on the East Coast, 2:30 a.m. is the official ending of police chase timing between the morning news through the 11 o'clock news, prime time chasing. We didn't choose this life. It chose us, okay? Those are the rules. You have to be on standby in case there's a chase. Till next time, my friends, I will see you on the timeline. Deuces.